Good morning. Day 5, final day. Although I think because we got started a little bit slow, I may do a couple days of encore so people have access to the material. It's a lot of material for the summit. So I'll keep you posted on that. But for day 5, I want to go over a couple of things. About writing. So although I come from a creative background, and you guys can always see I'm in my art studio, usually when I'm doing these recordings, but a lot of what I do is also based on brain research and creativity research and psychology and things like that, because I think that that's important if you're going to take on a writing project, and especially if you're going to take on your personal story, because there's a lot of stuff that comes up. We've talked about this over and over again, but I'm just going to start with a little bit of this. So one of the things that is my secret sauce, and when you work with me and I'm your book coach, like I said, my secret sauce is creativity. So we're going to do some creative things to help get the flow going. And then I have a whole process that I go through. And today, at some point during the summit, I'm also going to offer my quarterly program. So my program starts in January. You work with me for a quarter, and by the end of the quarter, you'll have a book that is either ready for editing, or if you move super quickly, it will be ready for publishing, and I can connect you with Kelly. I don't do a lot of the publishing side of it. I can certainly help with the marketing and the social media. I've been a social media consultant and things like that. And I can definitely help you with, if you just want to publish it as an ebook via Amazon, I can definitely help you with that as well. So anyway, I'm going to talk a little bit about the creative process. So, and it starts with really the power of your thoughts and your beliefs, because that's where all of this is going to start. If you don't believe you can write a book, then you can't write a book. I mean, it's really up to you and what your thoughts are and what you think is possible. So one of the things that sounds kind of odd, but is in my toolbox as a writer and should be in every writer's toolbox is some type of coloring or doodling. So it's really easy these days to do like an adult coloring book. And so when you're in the throes of coloring and you really get into it, you lose all the negative thoughts, but you also lose that critical editor and push that back or push that aside as you start to do your writing. So I always recommend that you start a writing session doing some type of creative work. And if you have one of those adult coloring books or a little doodle book or something, that's super simple to pull that out before you get started and doing that. So the reason that you want to do that, and so this is just one researcher, Dr. Joel Pearson. He's a brain scientist at the University of New South Wales in Australia. Limiting beliefs and negative thoughts stop you from writing or pursuing worthwhile ideas. Because your thoughts and beliefs affect your actions, ridding yourself of unsupportive ones makes a huge difference in your ability to produce and share written work and create a successful writing project, i.e. your book. So it's really important, and when you work with me as a book coach, we'll work through this process. So, and I know that it sounds like a lot in one quarter you're going to have your book done, but I have just an amazing process that I used myself, and just the results that I've gotten from writing my book and the changes that I've had in my life. I definitely want to share that with you. So one of the things that we're going to do is I'm going to offer you a writing exercise this morning. Just something to get you writing. And then you'll need to stop the video for the timer part of it, and then you can come back on and I'll finish. So I'll do a little bit of a pause, enough for you to turn off the video, and then come back to the video and we'll finish. And then also I want you to put your comments in the bottom, like what happened if you actually did the exercise. So the way that it works is you're going to get a notebook or something, some paper and pen to write. I'm going to have you write by hand. Not type on the computer for this one if you can. If you can only type on the computer, and obviously if you're driving, you'll have to watch the video later. Okay, so what I want you to do is at the top of the page, I want you to write a question, and it's related to your writing. So something like, why do I want to tell my story? Why is it important to get my story out? Why do I want to write right now? Just a really simple question. And then I'm going to give you 3 words, and I want you to write those words right below the question. And so the words are brush, freedom, and change. Okay, so I want you to write those words next to the sentence, or next to the question. Okay. Now, you're going to set a timer for, you can do 3 minutes or 5 minutes, either way. 3 minutes is fine to start with if you haven't done something like this. So you're going to use all 3 words in the writing that you do, and you have to start your very first sentence with one of those words. So, in other words, there's no blank page. So, and then you're just going to keep writing, and it doesn't matter if you're writing gibberish or as sentences or it doesn't make sense. You're just going to start writing. So if you want to do this really well, then you can start with a creative endeavor. So you can actually just turn this video off, do something creative for a few minutes, like do some coloring or something, and then set the timer for 3 to 5 minutes. And do your writing. And then what I want to know in the comments is what happened. Like how much writing did you do? You know, how far did you get? What was your experience? What sensations, like were there any sensations in your body when you did this? How did you feel afterwards? So just all of that information. So it's a really simple exercise. So I'm going to pause for just a minute, and then I'll do a little bit of wrap up. So go ahead and shut the video off and go through the exercise. Preferably you do something creative beforehand, and then use those 3 words. All 3 words have to be used, and one of the words has to be used as the first word in the first sentence. Okay, so we're back if you shut the video off, and I definitely want you to leave in the comments how that went and what your experience was like. And then I also want to know if you did anything creative. And the other way to do it is do it twice and do one creative endeavor first, and then don't do anything creative maybe the first time that you do it, and the second time do something creative, or do it 2 separate times and then come back and let us know what happened. But I definitely want to know in the comments what your results were, and how much you were able to get written in, whether you did 3 minutes or 5 minutes. So that's a little bit about kind of how I work, and a little bit about the process of working with me as a book coach. So you know, there's when you work with me, there's really no blank pages and no loss for what to write and what your process is. So if you have any questions about that, please instant message me, and I'm happy to help you, you know, and answer any questions. And then I'm also going to put some options for being part of that group program, or if you want to work more one-on-one with me, what those options would be as well. So I really am grateful that you've been here through the summit and taken a look at all the interviews and speakers, and would love to get your feedback as well on what you thought. And I'll also be putting up a survey as well. So I'm really grateful that all of you were, you know, took part in this summit. So I hope you have a great rest of your day. Bye-bye.